Nocebo. So I took a little vacation and I'm back now, and once I did come back, I really wasn't able to see any films in theaters, so over to Shudder I went. After a little searching, I stumbled upon this film that was dropped on the service a few weeks ago. I completely missed it somehow. The premise seemed interesting, and I knew of one of the director's previous projects, so I figured why not, let's check it out. And I was pleasantly surprised. While not going as far as I would have liked and wrapping up a bit too quickly for my taste, this is still a serviceable, nicely paced thriller full of practical makeup effects and solid performances, for the most part. So what exactly is Nocebo? Nocebo's story follows a successful children's fashion designer and a mother named Christine. After a tick bite gives her a mysterious illness, her work life and home life start to break down until a random Filipino nanny named Diana appears and starts to heal Christine through what seems to be holistic witchcraft. But further mysteries are waiting to unravel beneath the surface. Dun dun dun. This is quite a few good twists in it, and a fantastic setup that deliciously preys on a squeamish horror of creepy crawlies. If you are arachnophobic or just really dislike ticks, you might want to avoid this film. Swollen ticks play a large role both thematically and to the story. I think this film starts out perfectly, setting the scene and story up with a good mystery that unravels as it goes, while also cluing the viewer into what they can expect to see. Let me explain. The film opens with Christine at a kids' fashion show when she suddenly gets a phone call that clearly disturbs and upsets her. Once she hangs up, she's greeted by this disturbing visage of a mangy dog with white eyes that slowly approaches her, showing how it's been bloodied and is coated in engorged ticks. Then, instead of attacking, it starts to shake, throwing ticks off its body and all over Christine before she recovers, just to discover that the dog was a hallucination, except for one fat tick right at the base of her neck. It is a perfect cold open. Sets up intrigue, mystery, shows a bit of Christine's character, and shows the viewer what kind of horror they can be expecting moving forward. I don't want to say that this movie gets into like eight-legged freaks kind of territory, creature feature, because it really doesn't. It's still subtle and is more of a dual character study following Christine and Diana. That's not to say it's perfect. It definitely stumbles in some executions. I think the husband, for example, played by Mark Strong, you might know him from the Kingsman movies actually, is a bit too stoic and he doesn't really do too much in this film. He could have been hammed up a bit more and given a little more personality because there just isn't a lot here, but the director seems to like quiet, stoic male figures in his movies. The relationship between Diana and Christine's daughter Roberta is also a bit strained. Billy Gladson does a good job as the weird little girl, but the direction later in the movie feels especially rushed, and her reactions are even stranger. I can't say much without spoilers, sadly, but I don't believe that the child would have acted in the way that she does later on in the movie. It's a little too different. The stars of this film, though, are clearly Bond girl Ava Green as Christine, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this name, Chai Financier as Diana. Financier is a Filipino actress and is actually a singer and songwriter too. She and Ava Green play off each other so well in these perspective roles. They are a joy to watch talk to each other and interact, even when things start to get mysterious or witchy and tension grows between the two. The director, Lorcan Finnegan, has made a name for himself with odd movies that feature rather poignant titles. His last film, 2019's Vivarium, was about a couple who end up trapped in a forever suburb and forced to raise a strange, not quite human child. The title there was incredibly important in a rather roundabout metaphorical way, and that's no different here. A nocebo, for those that don't know, is an actual word that refers to the opposite effect of a placebo, meaning that patients undergoing a placebo treatment get worse purely because they consciously dislike or disagree with the treatment. They don't expect it to work, therefore it doesn't. This is very important for themes in the movie. movie, but is still metaphorical enough that it isn't a spoiler. There's quite a few interesting plot twists during the climax, although one important one was revealed a bit too early in the movie for my taste, making it a little too obvious what a certain character was doing. Although the why is still a surprise, I feel like you could have done that a little bit better. Digging into the why though definitely made the film worth it. I just think they could have done it a little better, maybe a little differently. That's just my opinion. I really like how this came out despite the oddities and lacking characters. I'm not particularly squeamish, so the tick content didn't really bother me, but I can certainly see some scenes triggering some phobias other people might have, so just a fair warning if you don't like ticks or mangy looking dogs. The practical effects though are wonderful in this. Always use practical whenever possible. Also, clear warning here, there's barely any gore. There's some disturbing images here or there, but there's no outright gore. There's no face ripping. There's just, maybe a little bit of blood coming out from under a bandage, or, just the visual of ticks and a mangy dog. That's pretty much it. There's nothing else that would really trigger any blood phobias or anything like that. This isn't a gross out movie. This is a metaphorical art piece that you're supposed to watch and get into. That might explain why the father and the daughter characters are so off-putting and just weird. They don't seem very realistic, but they're not the focus. Christine and Diana are, so it makes more sense for the film to focus on them, but it still doesn't help that these two characters are very important to the story, but they don't do much. The husband and the daughter are just kind of there. The husband sometimes is an obstacle, but otherwise he's not an antagonist. He's not really a protagonist. He's just kind of there. It's weird. Same with the daughter. The daughter didn't really need to be in the movie at all, but is there for reasons that I can't really spoil, but they both very easily could have been cut. This could have been a single fashion designer with no family, but I guess the family aspect was important to the illness going on. But still, if I were to make this movie better, I would probably make it a little longer. At only 97 minutes, it certainly could have taken its time and fleshed out the husband and daughter characters more. Like I said, maybe a little closer to 2 hours would have helped. Give them 10-15 minutes, maybe a couple of scenes showing Christine and her husband interacting a bit more, or maybe the daughter and the husband interacting, or maybe going to see, what a day at the daughter's school is like. She's constantly dropped off at school, but you never see what she does outside of the house. It's a little weird. As it is, the characters just feel stiff and just not believable. But again, that seems to be a running theme with Finnegan's films. I haven't seen any of his other films, and I didn't see Vivarium, but I watched a story explained video a long time ago when it came out in 2019, and I've seen clips from it, so I know how the characters act. And I'm just saying there does seem to be a correlation here between Jesse Eisenberg's character and Mark Green's character in this movie. It's not a theme that I like, though, but to each their own. I'm not going to judge. I don't think you should either. People like what they like. Ultimately, though, this is still a very solid film with a good premise and some fantastic execution. I definitely recommend it if you can stomach ticks and, that kind of stuff. Give it a watch on Shudder. Nocebo gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me through another one. Oh, before I get into my final thoughts, I do have a Twitter down there. Please follow if you like. Please like the video. I got that. Yay. Now, final thoughts in this film. I like these art house character-driven explorations. I love setting up different characters and then exploring them, why they act certain ways, what's going on, what's the past, and the mystery set up in that cold open is fantastic. What was on the phone call? Why was she so disturbed? Why does that somehow cause a dog vision to show up? Was the dog real? Where did that tick come from? What is this mysterious illness? Is it Lyme disease? I don't know. There's a few unreliable narrator aspects going on in the film, and I like it when movies kind of play with that idea. I feel like it plays its hand a bit too early. I would have liked that to just constantly keep going, but I guess they show it right off the bat what's going on a little bit. So whatever, if you want to get into that, that's fine. There's still plenty more in the film that makes it enjoyable and makes it fun to explore and dive into and dissect and and figure out what's going on. And it also includes some, I'm assuming, Filipino folklore, which I always enjoy. If you're going to have a movie that features other cultures, it's important to explore said culture, and it does that in a really smart way here. Although tying into, I guess, Filipino mysticism isn't something I'm very knowledgeable about, I still really liked it. That was cool. Some details around it are a bit strange, but whatever. I still thought it was fun. I think people need to check this one out. This was a lot of fun. I'm honestly surprised it didn't get a wide theatrical release. I feel like it very much could have, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe this would have been dumped into January's horror movies, but I don't know. I thought January was okay this year, but who knows? Anyway, what else do you guys think I should check out? I know Little Mermaid's next week. We'll see if I actually see that or not. I don't know. I've heard the Scuttlebutt rap and I'm no. Anyway, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this movie? Do you have a thing for ticks? Do you think that this was very smartly written? Please no spoilers. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss a video, and that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo. The fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost song I know. And I'm just a ghost in your stereo.